Well, this is a hell of a howdy do. 12:51 p.m. West Coast time, Sunday, the 4th of August, 2024. Okay, what do we talk about? Tropical storm Debbie's going through the Caribbean right now, and they're going to be hitting the Florida coast anytime now. It hasn't quite gathered the strength, but its potential of a Cat 1. So it's scaring the hell out of people left and right. Not to mention, there's a hell of a lot of rioting happening if we're going to be going across the world here. United Kingdom. According to some government officials, there's misinformation. I've got CNN right now. Okay, what they were talking about 4 days ago, from what I'm gathering of news sources, there was a teenager charged with the murder of three girls at a Southport dance class. I'm reading the Telegraph from England via Yahoo News. And this was dated the 31st of July. Three girls stabbed to death. According to the article, um, let's see, follow our Southport stabbing live blog for updates as the suspect appears at Liverpool Magistrates Court today. Okay, so according to the article also, uh, teenager has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder over the attack of a holiday club in Southport. The 17-year-old boy, who cannot be named for legal reasons, will appear in Liverpool City Magistrates Court on Thursday. Three girls, a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, died after being stabbed while they were attending a Taylor Swift themed dance and yoga workshop on Monday. Eight other children suffered stab wounds, with 5 in critical conditions. A local businessman was also stabbed in the leg, trying to disarm the attacker, and one of the workshop organizers was seriously wounded while trying to protect a group of children. Both adults remain in the hospital after surgery. Still undergoing surgery at the press time a few days ago. Police confirmed in a midnight press conference that they had charged the suspect with 3 counts of murder, 10 attempted, and the possession of a bladed weapon. As for the reasons why this kid did it, they don't know. This was 4 days ago, by the way. But we still have the after effects right now. And this is in Liverpool, England. Riots started after false information shared. Hundreds gathered in the center of London before some rioters were seen hurling beer cans and lighting flares near British Prime Minister's residence. Crowd are shouting, "Save our kids! We want our country back! Stop the boats!" and all that sort of stuff. A number of arrests were being made left and right because of ongoing activity here. Now they had named afterwards, if I'm not mistaken, who this guy was. According to BBC News, this is like about 10 hours ago, or just actually, we'll do NBC News 3 minutes ago that they posted. United Kingdom woke up Sunday morning to city streets covered with debris and smoldering rubbish as a weekend of far-right anti-immigration demonstrations stoked by conspiracy theories spread on social media erupted into violence in several cities across the nation. That included Liverpool, which also had a ship parked outside. I think it was Fantasy? One of the Disney crafts out there who are doing their runs in England and everywhere else, doing the European run, was berthed. And we had people coming out. Now, according to sources I'm coming across, including one from a cruise line, not cruise line, but a travel agent who keeps track of all these things. He's been reporting it, and he was telling people that passengers and tourists in the area, locals, didn't expect two groups of protesters coming after each other and having a wingding, hell, having a riot at that point. So back in London, there was a lot of people being arrested, and they still blame the anti-immigration thing. It's turning out to be one of the hardest damn things to talk about. You got social media talking about this, talking about that. The propaganda that was being put on social media out there was saying that the guy who was doing all the stabbing was an asylum seeker, Muslim, or both. But there had been reports on this gentleman, this young man, who was born in Welsh capital of Cardiff. I'm not naming this kid, but it's out there. He was under 18. And there's been a lot of restrictions out there trying to prevent the naming of the suspect. That was eventually lifted in order to stop the spreading of information after a false name circulated online. This kid's Britisher. He's a Londoner. Not a Londoner. He's British. Cardiff, Wales. I mean, it's United Kingdom. Making my mind? Okay, Cardiff. And the Welsh capital. Lived there for years in a village near Southport itself. They still don't know what drove this kid to start going on a knifing. They don't have that information available just yet. But as the court will convene and they'll have the information, they'll post it. Meanwhile, there's still some rioting happening. According to live news reports I'm watching on YouTube on this one. I get a few live feeds from different places left and right. And coming from the British media. Because of the stories coming out because of the kid, they thought he was an immigrant, and therefore going on immigration ranting and raving like we've seen out here, except these guys are really going out when it comes down for protesting. Rioting, looting, burning, and this is in England. Keep this in mind, they have gun laws. Very few groups, very few selected government groups actually have the weaponry. they've got a ban going on for decades on this one because there had been mass shootings and they had enough of it. So they completely banned people having guns in England. It's supposed to have been safe. Except now we got knives. But they also did the same thing out in Australia. When there were shootings out there. Tried to do, I think, the same thing out in New Zealand. Also out there. But this is people against one group or another going absolutely insane. My point on this one is even if we're trying to do all the corrective measures we can, we still have people's hostility to deal with. We still have the anti one way or another group, basically. What concerns me is our willingness to have weapons all over the place. Even if we happen to take the guns away from people, they're still going to find something to use or utilize. And using the major January 6th riot as an example, we had hundreds of people. It was about 1,000, I think. I don't know how to statistics on that. Give me a second here. From what was arrested was over 1,033, give or less, on that one, 3 years ago. But there are still more people than that, according to what the press reports we're looking at, by the visuals. So there was a lot of rioters out there going nuts at that point. What scared the hell out of me is what if we have a kind of a situation where it's not just something. I mean, these people are already primed enough as it is. The far right and the far left are looking for an excuse to go after each other. And since they still had influx over the past several decades, within the past several decades, of more foreigners coming into the United Kingdom and everyone else is getting pissed off about the damn thing. And they started developing attitudes, they started developing mannerisms of being part of a British colony, being part of a British country style, being British. I mean, they've always accepted a long time ago. I don't know if it was within demonstrations or not, maybe even last year, back in the 20th century, of foreigners coming in, or even longer than that. Europe, I think, for a long time, for over a century or two, had been having issues being too blended because maybe there were too many foreigners coming into Europe. And I have to keep looking back on history at this point of how screwed up that thinking was in the first place. I mean, if we had followed what the anthropologists were kept telling us and we accepted it as the fact right there, or just as a starting point, that at one point humanity theoretically started from Africa. When you get into the different regions of the Earth, northern latitudes at that point, yes, skin colors and physical adaptation started to change with the environment, which meant in different countries they had to develop characteristics and attitudes and behaviors that would be part of that territory. And human beings from we're for immigration. We bounce from place to place, either by conquest voluntarily or involuntarily, or transported involuntarily one place or another. Some of them actually taking out the elitism, saying, we got the manifest destiny, we're going to conquer these places because we need to expand, and they're going to deal with it because we say so. Just move right in, somebody else's territory, and then clash city. But even if you have to do that voluntarily into different places, you still have the clash city because you're different. Even America was no different. We should look at our own damn turbulent history getting across the waters into this place, either by Norse, either by Vikings, or even going through the land bridges, getting the northern shores of Alaska and immigrating all the way down takes some, thousands of years, probably that, or shorter time than that, getting to South America. And people would be settling in different areas along those areas, in those territories. Developing language skills, developing attitudes, survival behaviors, culture. Some of them will clash, some of them won't. You either get along with each neighbor, or you just go hate your neighbor. But then again, we also have European colonists are scattering out all over the place. So yes, human beings, wherever they were originating at, no matter what the anthropologists, historians would tell us, they spread. Hunter gatherers into farmers and builders, and then armies and government systems. Until, what was it, 5,000, maybe less, or more than that. Human evolution to the point we've got right now. And we're still not over it yet. We don't like when other people decide that their territory is worth taking. So to go over there and say, this is my territory, deal with that one. Boom, boom, boom. We're seeing is no different. We report the news. We report what's happening. People don't like when somebody else crosses into your territory. I mean, how would you help? It's like the attitude coming in, like, how would you like to go into somebody else's apartment, sit on their couch eating Cheetos? I'm borrowing a TV line from Stargate Atlanta somewhere. The episode I was thinking about was when, I think about third, second, first, no, it was second season, where previous owners of this advanced city came back and disturbed colonists that were there from Earth. If anybody's seen Stargate Atlantis, you would know the storyline. And one of the characters, Dr. Rodney McKay, was talking to Colonel Shepard. And it's like, how would you like if somebody else came into your apartment, they're living on your couch, eating up all your Cheetos and watching TV? And then suddenly the apartment owners or the homeowners came back and saw you this way, living there. We call them squatters, by the way, in our time. In our own lingo. Squatters. In the fictionalized show of Atlantis, they were going to be fighting against a race. And the original tenants lost and died out. Sucks. But the squatters from Earth came and protected Atlantis and became the new residents. In our time right now, we don't even have that situation happening. Not with the squatters and not with everything else going on. You have somebody coming into the home after you've left there or have it abandoned or whatever reason, and then you have new tenants in there taking over. How about if you're out on vacation and you got people taking over your home and don't even want you in there because certain laws passed a long time ago still hadn't been updated? Squatters have rights. They live there for a long time, therefore it's their home without paying a damn rent. But they'll pay the bills, they'll pay for the utilities, but not the rent. Even a landlord will have a problem trying to evict him. Got to go through civil matters instead of criminal because there's no criminal record in the books for this one. It's only civil. And that weird ass logic, people get sick and tired of seeing new people coming into their territory and go crazy over this. They're getting tired of the immigration situation and thinking their old ways are going away, their traditions that they grew up with and loved. They can't share that with the other people who wanted to live with that. No, because the other people are bringing new stuff in, and that competes and conflicts and contradicts everything that the older traditions want. Continuity. They want continuity, but they can't get continuity because things are changing so much and so drastically. It scares the hell out of people, and therefore they gotta wig out, and therefore we gotta attack people because they're new. They can't be here. This is not consistent. We want consistency. We want continuity. We want things back the way we thought they were a long time ago. And the problem is, no. I mean, science and evolution have been telling us we've been changing like ourselves for God knows how long. Even anthropologists have been gathering data on this one. We were taught this information a long time ago. And some people just don't like it because some of the interpretations may be misconstrued. And the information may be updated. And maybe we got a better handle, or maybe we got a worse handle, depending on your particular point of view. You know, for a long while we hailed these people coming over because they were great explorers and they built this and they explored this, and now we've got this. But then we find out the finite details of what the hell happened. It's like, oh, great, finally, you came over to my home, discovered a damn thing, and you think it's going to be a worthwhile place for everybody else to hang out? No, thank you. So now we're in that particular situation saying, get the hell out of my damn country here. Get the hell out of my damn home. Stop eating my Cheetos, stop living on my couch, and get the hell out of here. You hadn't paid rent yet. By the way, I want recompense. That's what we're seeing all the time right now. We got that feeling, we got that attitude, we got that thought pattern going on. The manifest destiny is still playing out left and right inside of us. We will look at the other guy's lawn being greener than ours. We can't take care of our lawn, so let's go take care of his. Turn his lawn into our lawn. But we're still going to take care of his home. Why? Because I got to get my dog fed. This has been real. This has been fun. But keep this in mind, guys. There is never going to be a quick and easy solution. It's generational. We've been doing this for a long time. It's, in my opinion, of all the information I studied, limited as it is, compared to what human history is, we are never going to satisfy this damn thing. We're never going to satisfy anybody else, even how many laws we keep putting in, because we have this ingrained and instilled in our psyches, in our genetics at this point over here, that we will try to take over somebody else's home because we think we want it. We deserve it. We're going to get it. Tough shit. That's how the attitude is. If we can get along with each other, fine. But if we can't get along with each other, we got the clashes going on. It's not just January 6th. It's everywhere else happening in the world. Unless we learn to live with each other and try to coexist, even when we have to bump heads left and right to do it, we're not going to get anywhere on this one. We're not going to win any fights on this one. It's not the amount of bloodshed that you're looking at here. So we have to change the attitude, change the thinking, change the way we are regarding this manifest destiny crap. Yes, a lot of people had conquered lands, and we've got clashes in history proving this damn thing. We've got results depending on who's the winning side that you're looking on, who's got the better, who's got the uh, who's got the better, who got the rotten, who's got the losers. And that the wieners. We human beings are so screwed up, that's for God forsaken, sure. We try to hold on to religion. We try to hold on to theology. We think that's going to be the only thing that's going to save our ass. Oh, oh, we can pray all the time at this point over here, but we still got to do the job. We still got to do the dirty work. Give me a break on this one. Meanwhile, I've got a dog to attend to. No joke.